and I get brought to tears, and I go like, why am I being brought to tears?
God is the God of car parks, because when I need a car park, it is there.
You don't need powerful music to get into it.
It doesn't feel like a performance. It is worship.
Our real shepherd is Jesus.
God was so good today. He did this, 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 and this. And God's like, I did so much more.
I guess I'm describing the Pope.
There once was a man who went to sea. His name was called Zilly. He once was a man and he was fine. That's why I'm singing this rhyme. Oh, Zilly is a man, he's a real good sailor. He's a real good fine kind of fella. I like Zilly, but he doesn't seem to talk to me when I want him to. That's sad. Zilly was a sailor across the 7 seas, and I wanted him to come back and look at me, but he wouldn't because he's on his phone all the time. That's why I'm singing this rhyme. Yeah, I'm so bored 'cause I don't know what to do when I'm here sitting here talking to you, and you're not here, you're not talking to me, and I'm just part of your family. And there we're gonna go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Not
Hi.
Common Sense podcast. This is a bit of a different one.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're actually in a cathedral. Not cathedral, a chapel.
A chapel.
Chapel.
Quite a large chapel, though.
Yeah, it's just pretty large, as you can see from the video.
Yeah, it looks like a small church, and it's very old and has beautiful pews that you can't actually see from where we are, but
Yeah.
we're in the fold-away chairs.
Yeah, but welcome to the episode 4 of this podcast, of the Not Common Sense podcast, where we talk about not common sense things that Jesus taught. And also common sense things, but, it's a little less, it's not earthly common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our marriage.
And our marriage, yes. So we are having an honest I always stuff this up. It's an honest exploration of our journey as a married couple and as individuals through Christ.
Yes.
That's the idea.
That's the idea.
Yeah. All right. So should we get started? And I guess, did you have anything to say about the last podcast or not really?
Not at all. Can't even remember it.
Neither can I. Oh, yeah, that was a weird podcast for us, but we were I think we had too much coffee, is what it kind of felt like, if I'm remembering it.
No, I also think it was just because we were talking about our relationship. That was the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just get really excited. It's just,
And I think we're going to delve a bit more deeply into it eventually. So,
yeah.
that's a first foray into it, and it was pretty good.
We'll give it the time it deserves at some point. Yeah.
And, so today, I wanted to talk about, we're at this prayer retreat. The theme is like surrendering, but then also being still and knowing God. So I guess what I really want to talk about today is, how do you be still? Like, it's a very broad topic again, but is it something that you do physically, mentally, when you're about to fall asleep, which is kind of what I do, or is it something you can do while you're on the go?
What I like about this prayer retreat is that they have a specific kind of way of moving through subjects. So you have creative time, and then you have prayer time, and you have something they call devotion in motion, which is kind of like dancing while saying hymns, and worship time, sermon, move through all of these like different subjects. And in between those subjects, there is a moment of stillness where you're quiet, and you're just quiet in the presence of God. And that's really beautiful. And they do that deliberately so that it kind of feels like you're going in and out of waves throughout the day.
Yeah.
So you're able to be there, be present, be really attentive in whatever subject it is, and then you have a moment to reflect. And I think that that's been really good, because in our daily lives, we're always rushing, doing the next thing, trying to go to work, see family, just make dinner, put on the table. But if you can take 2 minutes in between every single subject, your whole day will start to feel a little bit more slow, a little bit more breath will come in. You can maybe give some time for God to actually speak to you. And I think that that's the whole point of being still and knowing that I am God, is that you can be still in his presence and know him. You need to.
Yeah, and just like sort of recharge in a way. Yeah, then the way this prayer retreat set up is actually really good. It's like you get there, and we were talking about like worship yesterday, and it's like worship is only good if, I reckon it's like, some people say 60% the individual and then 40% the person up top. But I think it's like 90% the individual and 10% the people that are leading the worship. Or even, I would go so far to say it's like 80% the person, 10% the congregation singing around them, and then 10% the people that are leading.
Okay. You're speaking a lot in percentages. Can you describe what those percentages are?
Yeah, sure. So what I mean is, like, if you want to feel God and know God, for me, when like during worship time, like when you're singing or like singing praises, it's not so much like the leader of the worship or like the people that are up front, the people on the stage. It's like 80% of it is actually just you entering into it and feeling God and actually letting the words wash over you, or letting whatever worship songs, and also the set list, letting that sort of speak to you. That is like 80% like your posture of your heart. And it's interesting being at this retreat and like doing worship here, where like some of the people just like at the front is like saying the words, but like, you know, they're not like trying to be, it's all there for the worship of God.
Yeah, like sometimes they miss a tune, or they're out of key, or they
like frequent breaks where like, you know, they get lost, and like, you know, because they don't practice, where they get lost and they hop around for a bit and then they get back into it, and then it's like, and then we're fine.
Well, let me just clarify. They actually do practice. They
don't practice together. So like,
No,
there's
they
somebody
do.
on the keyboard.
No, they do.
Oh, they do. Okay.
They do. It's just that they don't before the camp.
Yeah.
So they do it a little bit before the camp, but they do choose their songs specifically. There's a posture that ends up shining through the congregation because of that. It's either you resign yourself to worshipping as a collective group without focusing on it being perfect, or you're just going to be overly judgmental. You kind of only have those two choices.
That's it.
And so you can feel yourself leaning into any kind of judgment, and you go, that is not for me. And when you lean the other way,
you get fully into it.
Yeah. And you have such a love for these people who are standing up in front of a whole group of people and are just deciding, I'm not going to be nervous. I don't really care if I don't sing the notes right, or if I don't even know the words.
You know, it takes away the judgment for yourself as well, where it's like, I can sing a bit out of tune, and that's okay.
Yeah.
as a non-singer, you know.
As a singer, I'm not going to lie, it is difficult for me to sing next to people and also have somebody at the front who's potentially not singing in key, because I'm like, am I now out of key?
Yeah, well,
but like my brain just kind of like glitches a little bit, but it's such a, so I generally have to sit back.
Yeah, but that's the whole Martha Mary situation, right? The story of Martha, who's like working and not being still with like Mary is, and listening to God, and while he's there, or listening to Jesus, I guess.
Right.
Where like you're so focused on, am I in the right key, that you're not focusing on the words that are leading you, being led in worship,
right.
I guess.
Yeah. You can get caught up in like the perfectionist aspect of it.
It's like, am I singing in key? Like, who cares, really? God doesn't care if you're singing in key. He cares that you're praising his name, right?
Right. I do have friends that have described to me that they actually cannot go to church if the worship team is not good. It is the thing that they like most relate to, is the worship team and the praising of God. And if the worship team's like hasn't put in that effort, or they're not typically good at their role, then she actually has a real struggle like going to those churches. And I understand that from a concept, because like if that's her avenue, but I honestly would also, encourage her to branch out of that.
Yeah.
And to spend time doing both. So
yeah,
being
go to a Catholic liturgy, go to an Anglican or like, you know, United or whatever, and realize that, you know, they don't have all the fancy music and like the drums and like you don't need powerful music to like feel and also get into it, really. It's about like how much has Jesus touched your heart, generally, depending on the song, obviously. How much has Jesus touched your heart? And like I find myself like just thinking about some of the words and like being brought to tears because of the Holy Spirit. And just how much like he has, even when I don't consciously like, I'm not consciously taking in the words, it's just when I start thanking Jesus for like what he's done for me. It hits me intellectually after that the Holy Spirit is hitting me first. It's really interesting. And I get brought to tears and I go like, why am I being brought to tears? You know?
It's that surrender.
Yeah.
It's that listening and being still. Yeah.
Yeah. But how did we branch into that? What did you say before?
Well, no, you were starting from surrendering and being still, and we just kind of went into worship.
Yeah.
Because that's something that we've been really, there's been a significant amount of time doing that over the past few days.
Yeah.
So and immersing yourself in worship is such a beautiful thing, which you can really only do on prayer retreats.
Yeah, and it really is just immersing yourself. You have to immerse yourself and like give yourself up to like, if it's gonna be bad or if it's gonna be good or if it's like, it doesn't matter what other people are doing is the point. Is like, are you using the time that you've set aside for God? Yeah. I
mean, speaking of prayer retreats, I do think that everybody should go on, you know, at least one and see what it's like. Or Christian church camps. They can be really, there are some for children, there are some for young adults, there are some for families as well as, for adults, which we're on now. But they're really focused on helping you as a community come together with Christ. And they can also be like subsidized. So if you don't have a lot of money, often people are willing to pay for you to go so that you can have that experience with Jesus if you can't afford it yourself. Especially some of the older congregation, they're willing to like pay your time for a few days. But you can also do a prayer retreat yourself, and that's something that we have done throughout certain times in our lives. We have taken a day and been like, this is dedicated to God. Like, we're going to take a Saturday. Like, instead of going out to the park or having a date day or something like that, that's now for God. And we're going to pray and do some time in worship and do some time writing, or like, those are things that we've done and have I've done them with our other business partner as well. And we've done that plenty of times where we've needed some kind of answer from God.
Like a sabbatical as well. The Sabbath is almost what it's like. And
it's almost like a Sabbath, but it's like deliberate. Really, not that a Sabbath's not deliberate, but it's a deliberate time of immersing yourself in Jesus, which I understand does sound like a Sabbath, but it can often also be to
retreat. I mean, it's in the name, right? It's to retreat away from the worldly stuff that you're getting focused on and getting like busy work. Where you think you're doing God's work, but you really, it's when you realize that you haven't been praying, or you haven't been like listening, or you haven't been hearing, probably is a better word of saying. So retreating away from all of that and just immersing yourself in prayer. And I guess it is different to a Sabbath. Sabbath is rest, right?
Well, often I think you come into a prayer retreat at the right time, at a time where something's going on, or you need to get into a deeper space with Jesus. And so it's a really great time to just utilize that time well.
We felt like we have been in sort of a surrendering posture for a while, and it turns out the theme for this camp
is surrender.
And I've felt it, like just surrendering to the program, even how the effects of it.
How have you found it? Because I myself have.
Well, let's explain exactly. Let's name drop it. It's CFO. Camps Farthest Out.
Yeah.
They're a fairly old organization.
Yeah.
There's not so many in Australia anymore, and there's some in the US. Did it start in the US? I'm not entirely sure of the history.
I'm not entirely sure of the history, but they do have some all over the world.
Yeah, they do have some in like South Asia, and then Asia, Africa, South Africa, or South Africans, Southern Africa. Sorry, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then the the regional VP is here as well, and he kind of just does Oceania and Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not a huge amount, but they're so worthwhile, and the wisdom in the program itself. I mean, like if you immerse yourself in it and take away any of your, I want to say dignity, but it's not dignity. If you take away any like
presumptions,
self-conscious,
you can really let go of like yourself here, really let go of who you think you are. I remember I got to the end of one of the camps, so I started going to these camps a few years ago, and I remember I got to the end of the camp and somebody just pulled me aside and said, "You are so self-deprecating, like you need to stop talking badly about yourself." And I thought it was hilarious. So somebody says something nice to me and I kind of brush it off with like a self-deprecating kind of comment. But it was really making this person sad that I was saying those things and making them almost true about myself.
Yeah.
And that kind of hit me because I didn't know this person.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit like, I didn't know I was like that. And because I was in a posture of receiving whatever somebody else was going to give me, that criticism after camp, because we do not criticize during camp, but it was after, so I assume that was okay. But it was it did change me, I think, in a bit of a different direction.
Yeah. It really is like anointed in a way. But it's anointed in the way that like there's a lot of people that are just obedient to Christ here. And so there's a lot of divine appointments and a lot of healing that happens because people they come here and they let go and just have faith. And that's the only thing that matters, is just having faith.
Yeah. Just knowing that God's going to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Just coming in with a posture and saying, God's going to do something for you.
Yeah.
Isn't God amazing?
Yeah.
Here are all the things that he's done for me. Let's share those things and let's discuss them and get to know our God better together.
Yeah. And like the program itself is set up in a way that like allows rest and allows, doing some sort of creative work or like worship or even and like hearing people talk and hearing people's stories. There's not exactly like a leader per se, and it's just sort of a community getting together and listening to each other's stories is the idea.
Well, there's a church that we went to recently that has that kind of structure.
Yeah,
and
it's a beautiful way to do it.
It's a very beautiful way to have church where everybody takes a turn every single Sunday and does a talk and somebody else does a reading. And this church that we went to actually hasn't had a pastor or a specific leader in 15 years.
Yeah, and it's just
which is incredible that they've lasted, having the community just come together.
Yeah, and having the just faithful servants. And that's I imagine that's how the old churches, old like first churches used to work. You had like a leader, but you didn't have, and then you talked with other churches around, like through letters, right? And just and like have somebody there that is, I guess I'm describing the Pope,
Okay.
but not really. I don't know. I think it's just a really nice way to do it, where we don't have a pastor, because like, yes, we need somebody that is. Studied in these things and also is appointed by Jesus to lead a flock, right?
Right.
But also our real shepherd is Jesus.
Yes. Yeah, so I guess there should be, if a church was doing things really well, they would have a mixture of both, where they would have learned individuals coming out and speaking to them in a way that is that has a lot of like just biblical knowledge, a lot of just knowing the gospel really, really well and being able to explain it and have those giftings in just speech, I guess, in general, but then having all of those other individuals just playing their part. I think that, and I've had this discussion with somebody today, I think that there are not enough churches who go and ask people to be involved. Like you can be involved. You know that there's a welcome team. You know that you can serve if you go up and ask.
Yeah.
But there's not somebody at the front saying, hey,
we need some people for this.
Or like, would you like to?
Yeah,
like, would you like to sing at the front of church? Do you know how to play an instrument? Would you like to get involved one day a year?
Yeah, it's like, providing the opportunities. Because you never know, like, you never know who has what talent.
And there's somebody who's shy.
And somebody who's shy, or there's somebody who like doesn't want to step on people's toes. So like, I'm one of those. Yeah, if you're a leader of the church, or if you're part of the ministry, you should be going up to people randomly, whoever you're talking to, and just like ask them, is there a way you can get involved in the church? Like, do you want to be involved in the church? Is there a way you want to serve, or is there something you can serve in that you've been really wanting to? And just providing that open, I don't even want to say door, just a window, and just go like, just come to me and talk to me if you have anything. Because I think a lot of people, this was me, where a lot of people in church, like they want to serve, but they don't know what opportunities there are, first of all, and second of all, are shy. Yeah. And if an opportunity was presented to me, I just want to be helpful. And so like if I don't see them needing help, or like if they don't make their struggles known, the church, then I'm just assuming that like everything's fine. Like they have enough people. Yeah, well, but they also might be too comfortable. Yeah. They might be too comfortable, and then that's where you get cliquey culture, which is ridiculous within churches. Yeah. And there are a lot of churches out there that have that cliquey kind of culture where it is not letting somebody in because they're different, and that is exactly what Jesus stood for, is letting people in who are different, people who didn't quite fit the mold. And if you're not letting people into certain spaces because of that, it's just not being a follower of Jesus. I understand like that certain people shouldn't be in certain roles though. Well, yeah. Like, I mean, let's say somebody who's like truly, you do have to be careful though, because in one of the letters, like there is a point where Paul actually threw people out of the church if they were not being good, if they were dabbling in stuff and were refusing to repent of their ways. He did throw people out of the church. I do know of churches that have had somebody who's been convicted with a specific kind of crime or abuse and have said, actually, we do not feel secure with you having us in our church. It is not safe for certain other individuals here, therefore you are not able to come here. Yeah, and there's precedent for that in the Bible itself. Of course. Yeah, and it's fascinating going into it. Not taking that out. It's more so that like, unless you have a serious, like, include people who can sing off key. Yeah. But maybe not the people that are completely tone deaf. Like, that is not your gifting. It would probably be wise to say, hey, is there another place you can serve? Because this is actually becoming a distraction. I don't know. I think there's a point. It depends. You haven't heard Courtney sing. Maybe. You haven't heard Courtney sing. She's just the one person. I don't know. I think like, yeah, it's like hitting in between every single note. It's a gift how bad it is. I get you. Yeah. So okay, let me talk. I think there's I might have to cut that out. She might get pissed off about me. I think there's a level in which organized church, you need to have those things, but like a theme between you and I, that the story that I keep coming back to is David's story when I think it's in like First Chronicles, and it's also in like Kings or something, where David bringing the ark back, and he's like dancing in the streets. He's dancing in really thin clothes, or he's completely naked.
Clothes, and he's so excited.
Yeah,
and then he never
Michal
has children with Michal again.
Yeah, Michal.
She gets really angry about it.
Exactly, gets really angry about him for indignifying himself.
Yeah.
But David was like, no, I'm being indignant for the Lord. That's different. That's completely different. And I think if someone's singing earnestly and really feels and wants to be in the front there, like, sure, why not? Like, churches shouldn't be so pretty and so beautiful. Like, it shouldn't be so. I shouldn't say that. It shouldn't be so perfect in a worldly standard way.
Okay, let me have a different example then. There are certain rules within certain churches that you can't be part of certain roles if you haven't been at the church for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Because one, they can't rely on you, and two, you shouldn't be in a decision-making position.
Sure.
But
singing at the front is not a decision-making decision.
But they also can't rely on you if they need to line up certain things.
That's neither here nor there. I mean, like, sure, have a bit of common sense, but also, like, it doesn't take away from the point that, like, part of a church is not being perfect. Like,
right.
It's a home for the broken, and it's a home for a community building.
Yes.
And
so everybody should be included.
Exactly. Only allowing
except when it's not common sense.
Yeah. Exactly. Only allowing like the perfect looking people or the perfect sounding people is actually against the teachings.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It makes me sad when I go to churches, and there've been mega churches that only have young adults in the worship team. Only.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there are older people here who can sing too, and I hear them.
Yeah.
And why is there nobody under the age of 40?
Yeah.
That's weird to me,
like,
especially when there's so many in the
congregation.
Huh?
Yeah, your worship is not a young person thing. It's not just a young person thing. I think it should represent...
There's a space for it, of course, especially with like the high intensity dancing that some places do. But
sure. Yes. Like, of course there's spaces for it. But I'm saying it's not just a young person thing.
I agree.
Yeah. So I think, depending on your congregation, obviously, but I've had this thought that, like, why are there even people up the front?
Well, they have something in another church that I've gone to, which is that they will not call the front a stage. They call it a platform. It is very specific language that they use so that it is like, it doesn't feel like a performance. It is worship. I think it's to have somebody to lead that's leading.
Yeah, but you can lead from you don't have to be seen to lead vocally, right?
I think visual cues do help some people a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, then I thought that, like, I mean, you take away the person there, and now you're just staring at wall. You're staring at the words on a wall, which I guess is not as good either.
I was doing worship last night, and being at the front and being in my own space with God, and I opened my eyes, and just watching people in their own space with God encourages me. So being at the front last night when I was in my own space with God and looking at the other people who are worshipping encourages me to continue to worship and be in that space. So I wonder if it's the same from both ends. To see somebody worshipping and being in the space with God at the front.
And it is something to be said that you didn't want to be at the front worshipping for the longest time because you thought you always made it about yourself.
Yeah.
And like, because you had so much presence, I guess, or like you were trying to have presence.
I think I was in a performance state of mind at that time. And I think that worship leaders have a huge responsibility on their shoulders to lead in worshipping God, not themselves.
Yeah.
And that's actually difficult to do if you're not surrendering, word of the day, to the music.
Yeah.
Surrendering to the gift of music that God has given us.
Yeah. And I think, we should probably get off the topic of worship soon, but I think people that like do the high notes or like the weird the really cool harmonies all throughout the song as the lead, I think that actually pulls away. That pulls away from God sometimes, and then puts it onto yourself and goes like, wow, that was a great note that you did.
Well, that is kind of why you need probably one person who has really good key, who can hold a really good tune in the worship, because if you don't have one person, you actually don't know where to go.
Yeah.
And if somebody's really strong in harmonies and is singing it like it is the melody, you kind of are just like, hang on.
Yeah, where do I go?
Where do I?
I can't sing that. Yeah, because ultimately it should be about how the audience is singing it with themselves as well, for themselves, to God. Like,
we would call it a congregation, not an audience.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Blah, 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 blah.
No, I agree.
Tomato, tomato. Anyway, so being still, that was the main prompt.
Being still.
And I also wanted to bring this up because I have been sleeping really badly. Not when I've like been asleep, but like getting to sleep has been really bad.
For how long?
For like a week and a half. And it's every time I have like thoughts and like ideas running through my brain. And then I write it down and I'm able to go to sleep maybe like 10 minutes later.
Right.
So there's something there where I feel like probably I'm not being still enough for this to come during my actual day to day. And even sometimes it's like a reflection. It's like being still and having no other noise. I can reflect on the things that I've said to other people, interact with other people, like where God has moved, where the things that I also need to repent of, where that could have made somebody feel really bad because I said that. And so it's like doing a rewind of the day. And I think it's been so important that I've been doing that actually. And I'm trying to figure out a way that I can do that throughout the day. And yeah, it is that whole being still and knowing that He is God.
Right.
And being obedient to that and listening to Him through knowledge and wisdom, but also like through interactions as well.
Right. Yeah. I think it was like a few days where you had a bad sleep last week, and I told you a story about a girl who she was like would get to the end of her night and she wouldn't be able to sleep, and she was praying and she was like, God, like, why can't I sleep anymore? And she felt like a voice in her head just say like, it's because you won't shut up during the day. So this is the only time you can listen to me. And I remember I told you that and you're like, huh, they're like, maybe that's me.
Yeah, I think it's exactly me. Yeah.
Yeah, you just move around. I don't know if too much through the day.
Yeah, and I think it's not even because I talk a lot. I don't talk a lot generally, especially outside of this podcast.
Okay, I disagree, but sure.
All right, but then I'm thinking too much, and I think it's too much of my own thoughts.
Right.
And it's like too much of like what I need to do. And ever since I've been praying, like help me be obedient to you, help me listen to you, I haven't been able to sleep. So like it's here, I'm finally listening to Him, but it's just at the very inconvenient times.
Right. And so then it comes back to taking that time in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And making sure that in between your subjects, in between all the things that you have to do, you're taking a moment to breathe, to listen, to process, just to go, I'm going to just process what just happened.
And instead of like looking at your Twitter feed or your Instagram feed, your Facebook feed.
To escape from reality.
Or like shorts, TikTok. I think, did I say TikTok? Yeah, to escape from reality. Or even like to think that even if you have educational stuff on there or like Bible verses on there, it's still busy work. It's things that are distracting you from just being still and knowing that He is actually currently present with you at all times.
Yeah.
Not just when you're alone in a dark room, but also while you're sitting in the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Like he is completely present with you at all times. And when you're on your phone, of course He can speak to you through that, but you are busying your mind from actually thinking and being present and being still with Him.
Yeah. There was a talk about that yesterday. Specifically, one of the women did this exercise where she just sat down and she wrote how is God looking at me right now? And what would that look like from his point of view? And so she just wrote, like, you are there, you are sitting at the table, you have your fist resting against your cheek, you are now taking a sip of coffee, you're putting down the cup. And she just went through all of these different motions, and she's like, God is with me every second. He sees everything I do, and I am not treating him in the same respect.
Yeah.
I'm taking only, a moment here or a moment there, but if we were able to recognize that he is with us right now, he is with you right now where you are, then you would be able to tap into his presence a lot more and abide with him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think even like for me, like when I was setting up this podcast, like I left my tech bag at home. And I had only brought like the bare minimum of stuff because they were in different bags. And I'm just like walking around and go like, no, this is meant to be. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So I'm just walking around getting cables and running from there to there and grabbing a cable. And like, God is present in this. Like if this cable wasn't here, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And if this bag wasn't here that I brought, like we wouldn't be doing this either. But the tech bag that's at home, like there's nothing in there that I needed because everything I had was just prepared
and provided here, and was already
here.
I hope you know what's yours and what's theirs.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like a little bit of it is, yeah, I'm really glad I put that cable in my car 7 years ago. But part of it is like, well, it was prepared just for this moment when I could use it, and that was God's hand.
That's cool.
Yeah,
love that.
Because like there's literally a cable here that this whole thing wouldn't work without it. Yeah, and that was just a cable that I had in my car.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's meant to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, when you're doing anything, preparing anything, I got a story like that, exactly like that, for my work as well, which I probably won't get into here. But yeah, it's just we had everything not prepared at all. It was like I came into this shoot, and because I work in film, I came to the shoot as like another producer, like a couple days before the shoot. So really, I didn't produce anything.
And didn't you have 2 other Christians that were with you on set?
Yeah. And nothing was set up properly, like locations, like props, and all that sort of jazz. It was just it was like bare minimum to get the shots, essentially, because it was a tight deadline. But we walk into the second location, which was like the biggest location for the shoot, and everything, all the props that we needed were right there.
Yeah, they just existed in the location.
Yeah, they just existed in that location, and they weren't exactly the types of things that we needed. Like I'll say like the lockers, right? We needed like lockers that sort of look like school lockers or something, like closed lockers. And there was something else there, like a fuse box. There was a few fuse boxes that were there, the same color, but all we had to do was just put it together and it looks like lockers on film. So it was very, very surreal.
Yeah,
walking into that room and just seeing everything laid out on a platter in like a jigsaw almost puzzle that nobody knew they were creating when they were putting these things in there.
And I think a lot of people who don't know God will be like, oh, it's the universe, just working out for me. I mean, it's God seeking you. If you would recognize that he is going like, I care about this thing that matters to you, even if it's little, so much that I'm pursuing you and I'm trying to show you, here I am. And this is what I can do to help you through just your everyday life.
And you happen to get car parks.
Oh, I get car parks everywhere. I always get a car park. I always get it right out the front. And it's because I have issues with my feet. I do not think it's any other reason. I think it's because I have issues with my feet. I get really... If I have to walk a long time, I have a lot of pain. Running is fine, but walking, not fine. And so if I have to go to the supermarket or the shops, that's going to be a lot of slow walking. Yeah, any small amount of distance, it actually matters.
Yeah.
To me, it can be the difference between me needing to rest the rest of the day or me being able to do something else that day. So car parks matter. And I say God is the God of car parks, because when I need a car park, it is there. Now, that also comes with the fact that I am like not as able-bodied and I need it. But the amount of car parks I have gotten when I've needed them, at least multiple times a week, I would say.
Yeah.
Consistently. And I know that's not for the average person, but I think it's for each person. There's going to be something that you need, like need. Like, and God's going to provide. And for my dad, that was his car keys. He loses his car keys, they will be found.
Yeah, they will be found.
They'll be found in the weirdest places.
And if he lets go of it as well, if he stops trying to search for it himself.
Yeah, he stopped. Yeah, that was something that...
Yeah, that was one of the stories.
Yeah, so you have to give it over to God and be like, God, I really need a car park, but like, if I don't get it, that's also okay. That's within your will.
Yeah.
But please.
Yeah, please. And also like, stop searching so hard.
Yeah.
Don't like just wait there. Waiting for it to happen. Like just go about your day as you will, and things will be convenient for you. Convenient. Wink, wink.
Well, the things that work out when you recognize them and you're just like, everything just should have gone wrong. And sometimes everything does go wrong, but you can see in other ways like how God is speaking to you or speaking to others through that moment. You just have to be listening and present.
Yeah.
And if you're not listening and you're not still, you're not surrendering to Jesus, you're going to miss so much. And I'm sure we miss like a billion things each day.
Yeah.
We're like, God was so good today. He did this, and this. And God's like, I did so much more.
Yeah. And, and also, I think what's really important is telling other people about him. I think things I've started seeing more things. I've started noticing and feeling and understanding how much he's doing in my life once I started telling people. And all throughout the New Testament and all throughout even the Old Testament, the reason why God does miracles is so that you may know he's God and also others may know he's God.
Yeah.
And of course, like compassion, grace, and mercy, and like compassion for your plight is obviously a big condition as well. But the other reason that's not been talked about much is that it's so you can tell other people, and you can heal other people, and you can give the knowledge of his gospel and his grace to other people. I think it's a sign, not. Because the healing is not the solution. The healing of your broken body is not the solution. The solution is actually having a relationship with Jesus.
Yes.
So, like, he'll heal you if you are willing to take that gospel message to live it out, and also inspire others to live it out as well.
Yeah, I think that Jesus is an incredible storyteller. And we all have a story, every single person. And if everybody was to share their story and to share of how God moved in their lives, I think everybody would know Jesus.
Yeah.
But I think that people are a little bit scared.
Yeah.
Or, there are things, you don't have to share everything. There are some things that are just for you or just for you and God. Like there are a few things, not too many, but there are a few things that are just between me and God, that I don't speak to you about. You might have that broad overview. You might know what it is, kind of. Yeah. But there are specifics that it doesn't help you to know.
But it's also to inspire your faith, though.
But it's for me to be able to surrender to God, to have that relationship with Him. Yeah. Yeah,
and it's so important. And I think it's not just like I'm going to go tell everybody about God. It's not even mentally like knowing you want to do that. It's just because there was a moment there where I wasn't telling anybody about how God moved in my life, and then now we're doing a podcast, right? It's God.
Now it's everywhere.
Yeah, now Jesus moved me to be in a position where I want to tell my story. So it's maybe pray for that if you're really struggling for that with that. Like, move me so much that I just have to tell.
But it's also people. That you listened, you took a step, and you're like, I'm going to do a podcast, and with your wife, what a risk.
Yeah.
And
I know.
but then it was going to be like what God ended up moving through that is now we're talking to our friends and our family, and some people that I never talked to deeply about my faith are now asking me about it, or are saying that they've seen the whole podcast. And I'm like, it's such a strange thing, because now I am out there living it. The podcast itself doesn't actually matter. It's the sharing.
Exactly. Yeah. On that note, we should probably end it and get to our next thing, which is a prayer group. So this is us from formerly known as Pallotti College, but is Santhom Grove now, and doing CFO. So, if you guys want to check it out, the links to these places will actually be down below. If you want to come here, it's absolutely beautiful here. It's not just this chapel. This chapel is actually a small part of it. Yeah. And the rest of it is just being in nature and, having a cabin that's up in a mountain. Yeah. It's beautiful. Check it out and go check out CFO. And
we will see you next time. Subscribe and put something in the comments. I don't know. Do people say that?
Yeah, they do.
I'm a real podcaster.